Hi, my name is Dylan, and welcome to Save It for the Blind podcast. Hey, guys.
What's happening?
Welcome to the podcast.
Appreciate it.
So on this podcast, we have our hunt program coordinators, Jeff and Carson. How have you guys been doing?
Good. Been very busy. Right now is our busy season. So it's I think a lot of people think that our busy season during duck season, but our busy season is actually pretty much July through September, getting everything prepped for hunting season.
Yeah. No, there's so much prep that goes into stuff that people don't realize, from management to water, dealing with other employees in terms of getting all of our properties ready, driving down to Bakersfield, getting stuff ready down there. So it's a crunch time. So once hunting season really starts, it's really going for a while until we can kind of get our breath, But
once hunting season starts, it really kind of just the hunt program runs itself once we get to that point, because it's the same process day in, day out, running hunts, having people show up. But right now, I mean, it could be 5-day work week and we're in a different spot every one of those days, whether, like Jeff was saying, we're down to Bakersfield or we're up by Chico and then at Quimby Island, and our island in the Delta could be the very next day. So our weeks right now are just hectic all over the place.
I mean, I got to see that firsthand over the summer when I came to help with you guys for the kids camp, and I got to see how close you guys actually do get to the kids and, what all you do and how much that is such a busy schedule. And a lot of that kind of goes unseen, for the most part. I mean, what you do see is, the kids getting their hunter's ed and all of that. And I myself got my hunter's ed.
Yes, you did.
New California hunter.
I know, it was such a good experience. But that was such a cool thing, and getting to see how many camps that you guys do and how many kids come out and do get that experience, whether they go on to be a hunter themselves or they just want to learn, or they're just there for the experience to be a kid and be at a summer camp. I think it all around has different experiences. So I kind of wanted to start this podcast off with some trivia to see what all, And
Palms are getting sweaty. You said there was no trivia.
It's easy. You should. It's either you
Is
should know
it duck
it.
hunting trivia or is it generalized trivia?
It's like hunting
CWA trivia?
It's
That'd be a good one.
It's it caught me by surprise on some of them. Like I was like, huh. But there's just 11 questions. So
what's the prize?
You win.
Win what?
You get to be the winner.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
bragging rights. My money's on Carson.
Okay, so question 1. Which state has the largest deer population? A, Texas, B, Wisconsin, C, Pennsylvania, or D, Michigan?
Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go Texas. It's so big.
Got to be
The
Texas.
second one's got to be Wisconsin.
Yeah, I'd agree with
And
that.
the cheese curds.
Yeah. Big
Cheese-
cheese curd deer.
Question 2. In what year was the first recorded fee for a hunting license? A, 1783, B, 1864, C, 1889, or D, 1905?
You guess first.
1905.
Okay. Is that right or wrong?
Wrong.
Give me.
B, 1864.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would have guessed
Oh,
C.
yeah.
I don't know. It's like some of them that were kind of interesting. I didn't. So question 3, what is the
So
biggest?
wait, we
what?
both got that wrong.
Yes.
Correct.
We're tied.
Yes, for that you're correct.
We're tied.
I have a point.
Oh, it's who answers first?
I was just whoever answers.
Oh, man. You
You
got to
gotta
explain
get
the
quick.
rules.
We need to give you guys like buttons.
Apparently.
Can we get some of those Staples buttons?
Oh, yes.
That was easy.
Yeah. Question 3. What is the biggest animal that can legally be hunted in North America? A,
Moose.
bison. Yeah.
Hey, don't even. I mean, you're gonna challenge the guy. Challenge me. Come on.
That's
let's
right. I started to get some questions
being
from
respectful
the
and letting her
hunter's ed
finish.
go.
test.
This is a competition. There's no respect.
That one's a mute as well because he didn't let you finish. Okay.
I guess it's fair.
We're still tied up.
It was bison, moose,
All right,
elk, or
I'll let her
grizzly.
finish all questions, and then I will answer before you.
There you go. That works.
Which president was an avid hunter? A, Teddy Roosevelt, B, Abraham Lincoln, C, James Buchanan, and D, John F. Kennedy.
Teddy.
Yeah.
Got it
quick.
first.
He's quick. Do you know what Teddy Roosevelt started?
No.
Lower Klamath National Wildlife Refuge in 1908.
Did he really?
Yep. First waterfowl refuge.
Yeah.
Fun
strictly
fact for
waterfowl.
you.
Yeah. For
Yeah.
federal waterfowl.
This can be good for me as well. Okay, so what was that? 4, 5. What is the most popular game bird in North America? A, turkey, B, grouse, C, pheasant, or D, duck?
Turkey.
Most what?
The most popular
Populated?
game bird.
Popular? Mm-hmm. What was it again?
I said,
Dove-
I
dove
said
wasn't on
turkey.
there?
Dove wasn't on there. So
That's the
turkey,
number
grouse,
one hunted day.
pheasant, or duck?
I'm gonna say duck.
if
It's actually pheasant.
what?
Oh, really?
Yes, I Googled it many times.
Dove
It's
wasn't
pheasant.
in there? Isn't like dove the opener?
There's more people out.
Highest
There's
part-
more people out in the field that day. I think
Yeah,
than
it's
any
like the
other
highest
days.
participated day.
Yeah.
Pheasant, which caught me by surprise. I thought it would be duck.
Well, we have no pheasants here naturally that are it's still out in the wild.
I don't know.
That's probably why.
Which state has the longest hunting season? A, Alaska, B, Louisiana, C, Maine, or D, Virginia?
Is this big game
It's like
included?
just hunting in
the
general.
longest hunting season?
Okay, go back over those.
Alaska, Louisiana, Maine, or Virginia?
Alaska.
Yeah, I was gonna say Alaska,
Virginia.
Virginia.
Yeah.
How long?
I don't know.
Oh, come on.
You're asking us. We need to go back to some waterfowl questions.
I just thought it'd be funny. Like,
I'm a new big game guy.
I started to pull some questions from the Hunter's Ed test, but I was like, that's too easy.
Yeah,
I could have got those.
It
teach
says
it.
the early archery. Oh, I don't know.
yeah, they probably have an early archery, and then they go all the way to like January for like doe hunts.
Oh, because they could shoot it.
Yeah.
A bunch of deer.
900.
Says
deer.
the early archery season generally spans early October to mid-November statewide. Late archery is in early December through January. Location for most hunters, muzzleloader season is in early November and late December through early January.
Shoot, their season starts when ours ends.
What about our hunting season? It starts well.
Well, you
Well,
could
technically all year round. You could make an argument for.
Yeah, you got to be specific.
Yeah. What were you specific on? The deers?
I don't know. I grabbed this from a website that like gave a bunch, like 30 questions. So
All right,
I
what's
just
the next one?
Which state has the highest percentage of hunting license holders? South Dakota, Texas, Vermont, or Louisiana?
Louisiana?
South Dakota.
They didn't let me answer.
Oh,
South Dakota.
I heard in unison.
No, I was nodding like that's a good one because they're
They're
sportsman
people
state.
there.
Yeah, but they have like some of the higher normally like harvested waterfowl a year. If you
Yeah,
look
that's
at like
true.
the states, usually like Texas, California, Arkansas, Louisiana, are usually in like the top 5. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
A
so-
lot of these were like interesting for me to know. I know obviously I don't know more than you in hunting, but it was just kind of interesting to see because I think, for the most part, we know a lot about California hunting, but it was kind of interesting to see the differences in the other states. Okay, here's
from
an
these
easy
answers,
one.
we don't know a lot about hunting either.
Hey, well, it just kind of, I feel like balances kind of the everything.
Yeah.
Instead of it being like, oh, I know everything. So, but this one you should know. What is the minimum caliber rifle that can be used to hunt deer in most states?
The minimum caliber rifle.
Yeah.
It has to be a center fire to hunt big game. So I would say minimum caliber would probably be.
Sorry, I didn't give you answers. How do I say it? Like .22?
A
Yeah.
22
So
caliber.
that's a 22. What are those?
Which is a rimfire. It can't
like
be
a
that.
223.
22, 24, 26, 28.
We said 22. You had what else?
24, 26, and a 28. Whatever's a 223, is it going to fall under 22 caliber center fire?
No, I doubt it. Would it?
Is
No,
it is
I'm
it
gonna-
listed at 22? Because that'd be a 223. Yeah. Then that's got to be
Yeah,
that.
22.
It's just strange because a 22 is a rimfire round that you can't hunt big game with, but like the caliber can technically be a 223 if it's a
Right.
It's-
which is center fire.
Yeah, center
which you
fire.
could.
That would make sense to me. So yeah, you got that one right. Which state has the most deer per square mile? Mississippi, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, or Michigan?
Ooh, Pennsylvania or Wisconsin.
I'm going Michigan. What are you going?
I'll go with Wisconsin just because I've been there.
Just because you've been there?
Yeah.
Even if it's not in the South?
Yeah, Wisconsin.
Mississippi.
Mississippi.
Yeah, I know.
Gosh. You don't,
It
that's,
told me, let me see. I saw the fact earlier. how many deer per square mile in Mississippi. A lot of these were just interesting because, like, I know eventually we get into talking about waterfowl and kind of everything like that, but there's so much more to hunting when it
very
comes
much
to
so.
that.
Yeah, I would never think that'd be like a high deer destination.
They just got, it's because they got small deer. They got a lot of them, but they got small.
Oh, that's true.
I mean,
further you go north, the bigger they get.
the buck commander is not. Let's see. It says Mississippi is 38 deer per square mile. Pennsylvania has 34 and Wisconsin 33.
I was close.
I was about to say you were very close. Okay, so we only have 2 more. Let's see. What are the 2 most popular types of rifles used for deer hunting? Lever action and pump action, bolt action and lever action, semi-automatic and bolt action, or pump action and semi-automatic?
Bolt and lever.
Yeah.
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 All right, last one. What does skunked mean?
Skunked?
Yeah.
Means you don't get anything.
That's a blank.
When a hunter is unable to kill an animal.
Every time Carson hunts without me, he skunks all the time.
Fair. That's fair. When
terrible.
Dylan goes hunting. Never.
This year.
This year, you're a licensed.
Let's go.
You're legal.
I know. I feel privileged.
Good.
How did you
As
grow
you
up
should.
in Oklahoma and not ever go hunting? Isn't that like, don't you guys do that in grade school? Like, hey, school's out. Let's all go deer hunting.
I mean, I grew up, not that like Oklahoma City is like such a big city, but like I grew up in Oklahoma City, whereas like my husband, he grew up in more north. He grew up in Muskogee, so like it's a smaller area and everything. So they did go duck hunting and deer hunting and all that there. But
He's an Okie from
Muskogee. Oh yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
That's always the easiest way. I'm like, thank goodness you're from a place that has a song about it.
Hey.
Okay, so
So is that trivia a wash?
I expect my prize at the end of this. Thank you.
you got it. Absolutely.
He had the upper hand. That was all big game questions. Like I said, I'm novice.
I thought they were funny and interesting.
They were.
kind
I
of.
appreciate it.
You're welcome.
They were interesting.
They were kind of just. Yes, that was kind of the point. Is I wanted to like.
Could have put a couple, teed them up for me, like some duck questions or something.
I should have put like at
Like a
least a
duck
couple
call
of the like
question.
hunter's ed ones, so that you could
Yeah.
like
We bo-
absolutely
we
crush
both
them.
teach. I give him a duck.
I would have been
Okay.
quicker on that. Yeah,
Yeah, true.
like four most common chokes. Got it.
Oh, I did look up.
Do you remember what your 4 most common chokes are from what we taught you?
Remember the chocolate is my
Yes.
favorite.
I can't remember like the answers though. I
Come
do
on.
remember
Come
that
on,
part.
Dylan. Cylinder. Is
Improved cylinder.
there you
Yeah.
go. My
M. M. Ma.
Modified.
Yep.
yeah.
And
Last one.
full.
Hey,
Boom.
there
Let's
you
go.
Yep.
Proud,
ask me anymore.
Some proud hunter ed instructors on the side of the mic.
Ooh, we got the Duck Hunter Impossible quiz.
Another
Hunter
quiz. I
Impossible.
told you
I'm
I get
just
like
kidding.
quiz anxiety.
Did you know how I felt? I was like, I'm around when I went to that camp over the summer and I took the hunter's ed test with all the 10-year-olds.
And you passed.
I
You
passed,
passed.
but there was a looming thought in my head that was like, what if I don't pass?
You're like a high 80s. You're good.
and
Yeah.
and all these
Sure.
10-year-olds are like, we passed.
Yeah. No, we had, this is a long time ago, but a kid. So we had a kid this summer. He scored 100. We had a few 99s and 98s. But a number of years ago, there was a dad and a kid attended a camp together. And the kid aced it 100%. And the dad either got a 98 or a 99. And like after the camp, he like came up to us and was like demanding like, these answers are right that I got wrong. We're like, dude,
You're like, you passed. It's
your son,
fine.
you're mad because your son beat you. you know?
That happened
But-
every time any camp adult that stayed, their child scored higher than them. There was no hundreds, but everyone scored higher except for one.
Yeah.
But
No, that's
it's-
true.
For some reason, the kids just pay better attention.
That was very nerve-wracking for me because I was like, if I don't pass, this is going to be very tough.
We could have retested you.
Okay.
The next day in the office. Carson could have read the test.
Let's see here. I wonder. Let's see.
No more trivias.
What is a male duck called?
A Drake.
A Drake.
Okay.
Oh, we are doing trivia.
You said ask me some duck questions.
That's him.
Yeah, Carson, you can take a 5 if you want.
A girl duck is called a hen.
Thank you. There's things that I don't know that I learned from you guys.
Whoever's keeping score, there's one on my side.
Thank you.
It early.
Let's see here.
We get like a tally going. This could get wild by the end of it.
I'm going to give you +1.
You're going to give me one up right now? All right. Well, that's fair. I'll take that.
Okay. So what I wanted to do ultimately is kind of like get a good understanding of you both, your backgrounds, where you come from, how you got here, kind of all of those things, just so I think for our listeners, they can understand you and feel more connected to who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So kind of what I wanted to know is first, I'll kind of ask you both, and whether you take turns or however you want to do it. We can start with Jeff.
Yeah.
Tell me about you and, your family, kind of things like that. Who are you?
Yeah. Gosh, good question, I guess. No, I'm just a person that just loves being on the outdoors. Obviously was drawn to waterfowl hunting at an early age. So my dad was a big duck hunter. My brother was 4 years older than I am. And so I was kind of always the tag along. So I can remember I was like 4 years old. I think my earliest memory, I like the duck club and, being in the trailer. And I didn't get to go out in the morning, but I remember my dad coming back out, like mid-morning, picking me up and then going out to the blind from there. And then we moved that next year up to northeastern California in a small town called Fall River Mills. So it was like kind of a sportsman's kind of paradise. And that's kind of why my dad moved up there and brought my mom and the kids and everyone. But yeah, for me, like we grew up hunting, fly fishing, all that good stuff. Every day after school, I grabbed the BB gun and went out and started hunting around the yard and stuff.
Hunt everything, or was like
we weren't deer hunter? Yeah, it's like mainly birds. So like quail, we'd do some pheasant every once in a while, but mainly duck and fish, right? And I like to fish now, but I only went fishing when I was younger because my brother loved it and my dad was really into it. But now I'm like, with like the work that we're in, like I still love to duck hunt, and there's some people that I think their passion is not as passionate as it once was because you're so immersed in it all the time. But yeah, so anyways, we grew up there. It was great, hunted and fished kind of all the time. That was kind of what we did, at least as the boys, me and my dad and my brother always kind of going out. And then my dad kind of transitioned, I would say, out of the hunting realm and kind of did the fishing stuff. And at the same time, my brother had got his, license to drive. So we were like off to the races, right? So we had our own boat, and we kind of grew up, public land hunting for the most part. And then, so kind of fast forward to today, I was always that kid kind of waking up in the morning, hoping like a duck show was on television or ESPN. I think at that time I had like a sportsman's, channel early in the morning on the Saturdays, but was always like blowing calls. We had a huge field. We would like dig goose pits and set out my dad's decoys. So like,
you ever kill anything?
No, but there was some looks, but we had like, my dad had a bunch of stuff, decoys and whatnot. So like we dug goose pits, right? And like did out a whole spread, like full bodies, shells, etc. Well, our family was from the Bay Area, so every Christmas we would leave for 4 or 5 days. And like we lived in a town like you didn't even lock your house. Like that was unheard of. But we left all that stuff out in the field because it's small town America. And we came back and someone came out and stole like almost all the spread.
Out of town.
My dad,
out of towners.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is like I have an Iverson barrel of a duck call, and we were out in that goose pit. So Iverson, it's a collectible, right? I had no idea at that age, but I had it on a lanyard, and I lost the insert in the goose pit, but I still have the barrel of the duck call now.
Just that.
But I was, like 7 years old, had no idea. My dad had a bunch of call, like grabbed one off the shelf and like was out there blowing a Iverson. But so fast forward kind of to today, was in college, kind of looking for, a change of careers. I was in construction management, and at the time I was kind of just wanted to just go to work, and I was like, well, I might just go do that. And at the time, my wife was like, I got like a year and a half left, if that, to finish. And my wife, I'll credit her that. My girlfriend then, my wife now, she was like, no one regrets finishing college.
Yeah.
I said, well, you got me there.
Yeah.
So we literally went back, Chico State, looked at a bunch of different majors, found one kind of natural resource management, switched degrees. And then that next spring, I was on the website and there was a job for a camp assistant, teaching people how to blow duck calls, waterfowl ID, running camps. And, I had some background in baseball and running camps and whatnot. So I was like, man, this job is like, this is for me.
This is ideal.
Yeah. So at the time, George Oberstadt was kind of in my position and sent him a resume, called me pretty quickly and was like, hey, can you come in and do an interview? And I was like, yeah, all right. Interviewed, and he literally called me like the next day, and I picked it up and was like, hey, you want a job? I was like, yeah, perfect. And then I was just ready for a job. Like the next day afterwards, there was another banding position up in Alaska, and I was just going to take whatever because it was like getting pretty close to like you gotta find something to do for the summer. And that was kind of it. So I got hired on, and I've been on ever since. And I've worked with
which is how many years now?
15, which is crazy. Yeah. So it's been my only I've done, construction and, worked at ranches, all that, but it's been I would say my only real job, but I was doing it in college, helping running camps myself, and then kind of took over what in its infancy was kind of our youth hunt program, when we were just doing youth hunts. But, it's been a great ride. So I was literally a seasonal employee running camps, and now, supervisor of the hunting education programs. But I would say definitely something I'm passionate about, but we get to do everything. I get to run habitat. We still do all of our camps, deal with our hunt program that's just exploded over a number of years. And, big thanks to Carson when we hired him on and, taking that up. And, it's been a good ride, and we've just seen a ton of growth, I would say definitely in the last, 10 years of, adding properties and things like that. But it's been good. And then personal family, 2 young kids. My son, never wanted to push it on him, because I never wanted to I didn't want to do that. But now he's like, hey, can we go shoot at the BB gun? Or, hey, he'll come out to the ranch, check water with me. Hey, can I come out to the ranch? And are we gonna ride on the buggy? Like, yeah, of course we're going to. And my daughter will come out too. So that part of it now as a dad is pretty awesome to kind of see the full circle deal. So
those passions kind of carry on through your dad to you to your kids, and it just kind of fulfills the whole thing as to why you enjoy what you do so much. I mean, then hopefully your kids feel that same way and they pass it on to their kids, if that's something that they enjoy. And I think as always, if you love something so much and if you're honest and genuine about it, I mean, people love it too. It's easy and it's contagious. I mean, I didn't come from a hunting background at all, and I see the benefits in it just from being with you guys or Jason and Brian, with the waterfowl biology. And there's so many different elements to it than just shooting an animal. There's so many layers to it. So Carson, I mean, I know that we are, I feel like, closer in age and things. So how did you
I might look pretty old. Mid-30s here. Right?
Hey, we are all the same then.
Well, I'm not. You guys are younger than I am.
Yes.
As far as things go, I mean, I would imagine we were probably in college at the same time and things, even though we didn't go to the same college or anything. So how did your passion for hunting start, or how did you get involved with CWA? Where did that all start for you?
Yeah, so mine grew up in a hunting family. My dad hunted, so I was always kind of not born into it, but brought into it and took a liking to it. And the first job I ever had, I worked at the city of Roseville doing paperwork stuff in an office. And after a summer of that, I knew I never wanted to be, office work ever again. I was from the get-go. I was like, it's not for me. So I thought, okay, how can I be, out doing something I love in the field while still getting paid for it? What degree do I need to pursue? And I didn't want to be a game warden, which gets you out in the field, but I'm not the law enforcement type.
Yeah.
So I figured on waterfowl biology, be a biologist. So I went to school at Chico State for biology. While I was there, Chico State has the only academic chapter of CWA that exists where there's no fundraising involved. There's only, we'll bring in wetlands guys from CWA as well as waterfowl biologists, and they'll just come to the class and talk about it. So I actually ended up being president of that for 2 years, met a lot of the people that I now work with, and that kind of gave me a little bit of insight into the company. And then right before I graduated, I actually came into this exact office and interviewed with our waterfowl biologist to be a banding technician. And I was graduating college, had a girlfriend at the time who's now my wife, and they basically said, hey, it's a part-time position. Like, you're going to have work for 3 months and then we can't guarantee you anything else. And during that time at Chico, I was working at Sportsman's Warehouse in the hunting department, and they were going to offer me the hunting department manager position, which was full-time. So I basically told them, like, hey, I really like full-time. Like, I don't want to move back with my parents. I'm done with college. And so I'll never remember it. Caroline, who doesn't work with us any longer, she was the head biologist back then. She said, well, I saw you interviewed for this assistant hunt program coordinator position. Do you want to interview for that? I was like, yeah, of course. Like, that's full time. That's way more up my alley. Like, I've grown up hunting my whole life. That's my passion. So I interviewed with Jeff probably a week later. And then I started as an assistant hunt program coordinator 2 weeks after I graduated college. I think, I don't know, a year and a half after I switched to the hunt program coordinator when Jeff kind of moved up into his position. And I just hit 6 years of running the hunt program. So my thing is, taking care of properties, doing a lot of stuff on the back end that people don't see, getting hunts online, reaching out for donations, registering folks. So that's kind of my spot in CWA currently is that hunt program coordinator role, where during hunt season, I'm getting people out to their blinds, that sort of thing, and then working on the back end of our systems. And it's been an amazing ride. I wouldn't change it for anything. I mean, I don't know of a job that can put you out into the hunting realm. Say you have a 100-day season, I'm in it 90 days, which a lot of people can get burned out on. That's something that he's warned me about and talked about. Like, hey, if you ever feel like you're getting burned out, like, let me know. And there's a fine balance, because I know a lot of guys that'll hunt 30 days out of the year and they're burned out. It's like, we work in hunt combined probably 90 days, and it's day after day 90 days. It's not breaks.
Yeah, and I would say on that, it's, we're not necessarily out in the field, but like, if someone's, a property, for example, like on a Wednesday, you get a phone call at 4:30, 5 in the morning with a hunter, like, hey, something happened, I can't come, or whatever it may happen, and employees having an issue. And then you still get those phone calls at 8 o'clock at night of, hey, this hunt just came available. I'm having a hard time registering my guest, or they didn't get the email. So it's, we try to do our best job on providing the best customer service that we can, through all of our programs, but specifically the hunt program, and trying to take care of all of our hunters. But it, from dove season all the way through turkey, it's a grind, in terms of making sure everything runs smoothly.
Yeah. And like Jeff said, like, my most prideful thing about what we do is our customer service, because it doesn't matter if it's a Friday night at 8 o'clock, I will call you back and I will make sure you are set for your hunt, whatever it is. And a lot of folks in California and maybe in other states, when you go to a refuge, you don't get that same experience of somebody that's joyful there, the relaxation of our hunts. We're going to provide you decoys, that sort of thing. And I think that's what has people coming back to our program. And that's what I personally take pride and joy in, is seeing those people and seeing how happy they are when they come back, and talking about, hey, we loved this so much, we want to come back and do it again. And that can always be controlled by myself, Jeff, and our hunt techs. Like, it's how much effort you put forth.
Well, I mean, to that point, do you ever look back and think about, man, what if I would have taken that job at Sportsman's, or what if I would have went to Alaska? How different my life would have been. Would I have had these same positive experiences, or would I have been, not as happy? And I think that this just proves your point that you were the right person chosen for the job, and this is the right thing for you, because it comes so naturally. And then you want to do more for the people that sign up for the camps, or for the people that want to be involved, and it's easy to give back and care.
We're both in a place now in our hunting careers where a lot of times we would rather see other people succeed, and we don't need to be out there every day, where that's hard for some people. Some people are diehard hunters where they can't give up that Wednesday and Saturday because those are the days they hunt. for us, it's like, hey, you know what? We're working. Like, we'll go hunt on an off day or two, but that's not our priority anymore. It's not like we need to go harvest ducks left, right, and center. It's like, I want to see, you know, some 10-year-old go kill his first duck at Birdhaven. That's my thing
that's your joy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I can remember the last 10 years actively hunting on an opener.
Nope.
Nope. Like personally, you know, in the morning, you know, we get out in the afternoons, you know, at the duck blind and whatnot. But I mean, in terms of like, I'm going to go hunt X, Y, and Z opening weekend. It's a long weekend to get everything ready. But yeah, I mean, once opening weekend happens, I am so happy when people go out and have a great hunt, because we try to make the properties, like if we stepped foot in them, we would be happy with the blind and the setup, right? So like, I feel like we have a pretty high expectation.
Yeah, our standards are probably a lot higher than most folks.
I would say, yeah. You know, we get, you know, oh, the blind had too much brush on it or something. We're like, well, you'd rather have it the opposite. We're like, there's no brush on it.
So with, you know, obviously you both coming from a hunting background, I would imagine that your parents can easily do this, but how would your parents describe what you do for a job? Because it's not your typical job. You know, my mom is she grew up in accounting, and she got her degree from the University of Texas in accounting, and so it was able to be very targeted to that. But
so
you know,
I think it's different. I think it depends on, so like my dad grew up a hunter, so he knows exactly what I do. My mom does know exactly what I do, but she can't explain it to someone. So even myself, if I'm having a conversation with a hunter, I will explain my job, what I do, because they'll understand it. If it's somebody who isn't in that realm, a lot of time I'll tell them, hey, I work for a nonprofit that does habitat restoration work. We have a hunting department. I'm in charge of that. And don't dive too deep into that.
Yeah, keep it very surface.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of how my parents would do it. My dad probably would go into a little more effort about what I actually do, but I think my mom would go on the surface of like, hey, works for Cal Waterfowl. They're a nonprofit, and he takes people hunting. Like that's kind of the gist of it.
You're like a guide. You can be,
but I'm not.
Fancy
Very much not.
Yeah, very much not. Yeah, I think I think my mom would probably be like, yeah, he does youth camps, which is like
fair.
But it's such a small like
section,
especially now. So we're doing the camps together again, but it's like, you know, managing the habitat, all the different hunt programs with women, veterans, kids, all that stuff, all the back end computer stuff, managing habitat, finding new properties. You know, it's a 365 type of deal. But yeah, it'd be like, youth camps for waterfowl probably. Yeah.
I mean, my mom is like, she's on social media a lot. She's on her phone. I'm like, Mom, come on. No, she gets it.
Ducks, I think.
Yes. And that's the cool thing. You know, I grew up really loving animals, so it's cool to see a full circle, even though I didn't come from the hunting.
The full circle is going to be when we get you out this year and you go hunting.
Yeah. Because I see kind of the longevity of hunting and shooting your animal and being able to harvest, just doing kind of the whole thing.
Yep.
I mean, living in California and things are expensive. So being able to kind of do that aspect would be definitely nice.
But your husband, Kate, he's a hunter, right?
Yeah. So we have a German Shorthair Pointer. So when we lived in Utah last year, we would go, he would go hunt pheasant with our dogs. Okay. So that's what we have been doing as of lately. And then he grew up duck hunting and deer hunting with his friends. So, a little bit of everything, but, I think with hunting, there's a lot of areas that you can be good at. And I think for both of you, you've probably become very skilled and very knowledgeable in all the things. Is there something that you're just like, I cannot do this. I'm not very good at this aspect of hunting.
As far as hunting goes?
Like waterfowl hunting or just hunting in general?
Anything, yeah. Is there like...
So there's some... I will say yes. So in deer hunting... or big game hunting in general, there's a tactic called still hunting, which is basically where, say you have a big swath of woods and you're going to take 2 steps and you stop for 30 seconds to a minute and you look, and then you take 2 more steps. It's literally, you're trying to be as still as possible. I don't have the patience to do it.
Not for me.
Not for me. I'm not good at it. I've tramped through the woods, scared deer. My deer hunting tactic is to get up high and use my binoculars.
Right.
If I were to say there's something that I can't do, I just can't do that. My body doesn't allow me to do it. I don't have the patience. It's not for me.
Yeah.
Would you say the same?
I definitely couldn't do that, but I can sit in like a tree stand. That was fine. I did that.
Because you're obviously, I mean, you're a very skilled duck caller. So
Yeah.
like that's something that you're like that's my jam.
In terms of waterfowl hunting, other than like the applications like skull bow hunting, like we have done skull bow, but I was usually in the front. I was a shooter, so I wasn't like sculling the bow. My brother was. I wouldn't say so much on that side, but like on the big game side, like I'm new. I've only shot a couple animals.
Yeah, you've only been
couple deer.
big game hunting for 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah, so I've shot a couple pig, but it's one of those things where it's like, hey, like my first year, like, Carson, what do I do? Yeah, and I hear I'm a hunter ed instructor, but I'm like, it's different.
There's so much to learn and know about.
And I didn't grow up deer hunting, right? Or we went like driving around the woods, with a deer. Like that's not deer hunting, but it never got anything. But yeah, that in terms of the prep, I feel really confident now.
Yeah,
like,
you've. I mean, the amount of stuff you've learned in the last 3 years has been immense.
Yeah, I mean, like, so we went antelope hunting, and I felt like confident. If I was by myself, I'm good to go. I could pack it out and good. So, and pig hunting, etc.
Oh, that hog hunt thing that you guys went on that guided hunt was really cool.
Got one tomorrow.
Really?
So we'll see what happens.
Hey, bring home the bacon.
Yeah, those have been popular. Those have been
popular.
So with hunting or with, just your field in general, what is like a common myth that you feel like
there's one glaring one in our field, and that is we get to hunt all the time.
You guys hunt all the time, huh? Like,
that is,
we work when other people are hunting.
Yes, furthest from the truth.
Yeah.
How often do you feel like you guys get to hunt for your own game?
So we do get out a fair amount, but we are lucky because we both have rice blinds where we can hunt any day of the week. So we may be working on a Wednesday or Saturday when a normal refuge in California is open, where we can't go hunt the refuge. But luckily, because we have these other places that we can go on a Monday or a Tuesday on our days off, we can get those days in. If we didn't have that availability, I would probably be hunting a lot less.
Yeah.
But I think the misconception is, oh, you guys, after we're gone at Grizzly Ranch, you guys are out there. And it's like, no, that's not how that works. Or after you guys, like, those are the misconceptions that we get. And it's like, you guys are hunting all the time, or you're a guide. It's like, we're not a guide. We're kind of a glorified event coordinator, to be honest. Like, having people show up at a certain time, making sure everybody's happy, making sure everybody gets to their blind. And then we go sit in a clubhouse and do computer work. We don't go out there and hunt.
This is true.
And after like the big weekend camps, like Bird Haven or duck camps, whatever. I mean, like you're there Thursday. People show up Friday. You're getting everything ready. By Sunday, you've literally barely slept.
True.
And then you're like, "Oh, are you gonna go hunting tomorrow?"
Yeah.
Like Monday, and you're like, "No."
Yeah.
I've got like to catch up on emails, and I'm tired.
Yeah. I mean, even when I came up for that camp, coming up Friday and then leaving Sunday, by that time, you've been waking up so early.
Yeah.
You've been with the kids. You guys did way more
You're
camps than I have.
all day.
Yes.
Yeah,
They're
the last thing
asking-
you want to do is wake up again at 3 a.m. and go sit in a duck blind. It's like, I love it. And it's our passion, but we're around it so much that suffices.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I would say like now it's more like, hey, I got 2 hours. Tomorrow, Tuesday afternoon, I can go sit in the duck blind and, I can do that.
What's changing for you is now you have a kid that's going to be joining you.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's fun. He's definitely excited. So he's been dove hunting, turkey, been in the duck blind.
As an observer.
But has his little BB gun. Comes out. But he's, like I said, we kind of slowly progressed into that. Didn't want to push it on him. And we were at Kittles a couple weeks ago, and there was a camo sweatshirt, small size youth, and put it on. He's like, I want this.
Oh. So you got it, right?
We ordered a different brand online.
Fair.
But
Fair.
It was like, dad moment tear. It was cool. So we went online and, hey, here's a sweatshirt, and there was another jacket. I wear a down jacket. It's the exact same one as I wear. I was like, do you want this? He's like, no, I just want the sweatshirt. It's like, well, I think you need the jacket too. It's a good price and everything.
Sometimes you have to convince them that that's
yeah.
what
So I was like,
need,
I got the jacket. And you had to convince mom.
Don't worry.
Got the jacket and the sweatshirt. So he was all excited about that. So we'll see.
I think kind of with that, having kids has probably changed your passion for hunting altogether. It's changed probably what you value most when you go out in the marsh or in the field or just whatever. And I think Carson, you know, probably since getting married and just growing up with hunting, your passions and things have also changed. So kind of what has been the most important lesson that you've learned and what has been most memorable for you since you have been hunting or hunt program, you know, whatever.
I mean, as far as life goes and what I've learned in being in a relationship, and anybody that is in the hunting industry or hunts a lot and is in a relationship deals with, you know, the hunting season blues. My wife doesn't hunt. Right. So from October to January, I'm gone on the weekends. Yeah. And it's a conversation that we had back 7 years ago when we started dating.
Yeah. This is what's going on.
Where it's like, this is kind of how it's going to be. And I can't change it. Like, this is my life. It's not something I do for fun. It's something that centers me as a person.
Absolutely.
So I have to do it. And everybody goes through it. We've gone through the tough times with it when she wants me to be home, and we've come to a very good understanding of like, hey, you know, I'm going to try to balance it as best I can. I will let you know when I'm leaving. I will let you know when I think I'm going to be back. And just go from there. And everybody's different. Everybody has a different way it works, but that's the way it works for us. And the last however many years, it's been smooth sailing, great. And that's, you know, it changed for everybody. I'm sure when we have kids, it's going to change from there. Right now, we just purchased a house, so shoot, tonight I'd rather be going deer hunting in A-zone, but I'm going to be at my house building a bed frame. So, you know, you sacrifice.
Yeah. I mean, you know, in every different career industry, you know, there's the benefits and the cons to it. Yeah. You know, if you're going to go be in the military, if you're a firefighter, I mean, there are those conversations that you have to have. That's going to be, hey, I may not be home for weeks on end, and it's a conversation you have to have with your spouse on, is that going to work? Because, correct. I mean, part of hunting is a part of your job, no matter if you're doing it for fun or for someone else. I mean, it has to exist in order for the other things to go along. I mean, I imagine for your kids, your family, there's probably things you've missed, but also things that you've gained with your son enjoying hunting. So, I mean...
Well, especially now, I think, like, you know, pre-kids, not that I would say I was getting burnt out, but, you know, we were kind of short-staffed, we're working 10 hours, and now, like, there was a time where it's like, I would rather go fish, you know, like, or something. And now I think it's kind of full circle where it's like, my dog had passed away a number of years ago. You know, we have a new dog now. You know, my son's showing some interest in it. And to me, like, it's probably more rejuvenated me more than anything to, like, want to get back out there, different phase in life, and whatnot. Even though, you know, I love to hunt in the past, and I've always loved to do that. But, you know, there'd be times people were like, hey, do you want to go out tomorrow? You know, we got this field lined up. I'm just like, man, I'm tired, you know, like, you know, or whatnot. Like, and, you know, it's not a good time, but, now it's definitely, and that I've branched out into other hunting, I think has also helped, but,
it breaks up the monotony of duck season when you can go to Wyoming or Colorado for a week in November and go big game hunting and then come back, and it almost resets you, even though you're still hunting, but it's just totally different.
But talking about the spouse thing, I mean, like, I think it's great. Like, it's like when me and my wife have been together since I was 17, so a very long time.
Dang.
And that was a conversation.
Congrats, though.
Yeah, that was a conversation like, hey, I have an obsession with hunting. And at the time, baseball. But I was like, hunting's like, that's it. Yeah, that makes you happy. Great. And there's, you know.
I think that's reassurance that you found the right person, too.
Yeah. She's like, why would I want to take something that makes you happy away? And she's been like, phenomenal about it. But I think it'd be hard. Like, you're seeing a ton of like adult onset hunters now. You know, let's say if they're married. And they're
already
30.
Ooh, yeah, I didn't think about that.
Hey, hey, babe, I'm going to go duck hunting every Saturday.
And it's like record scratch.
Sunday. And they're like, say what?
They've had the same pattern for the last 10 years, and all of a sudden a wrench got thrown in
duck
it.
Hunting now? Like, I think that would be super hard. But for us, it's like, hey,
it's already coming.
It's October. Like,
they know what to expect.
They
know October from basically February, we're busy. And then, you know, we do get our off time February to April, May, where we're running turkey hunts, doing postseason stuff, but we're at home a lot where we can be with the kids, we can be with our wives.
Yeah.
And that's our kind of making up for being gone so much. You have to take the good with the bad. And the good is, you know, I can be home 4 or 5 days a week in March when we're not doing anything. Yeah. And I give up my weekends in October, November, December. Like, if you're okay with that trade-off, so be it.
I mean, kind of with that, I mean, obviously there's a lot of benefit in having a lot of time, whether it's with your family or time just being able to go do whatever you'd like, whether you want to go shoot the basketball or just whatever. But there's also the benefit of like having a lot of money. I mean, would you rather have more time or more money?
Both.
I guess that's fair.
You
know what I mean?
I would think time. You can produce money with time.
This is true.
That is true. That's very true.
Two birds, one stone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think time and something that you're passionate about, right? Like, is
because it
is
can
the goal.
it could keep producing more.
Yeah.
I mean, whether you get a certain set or not.
I know a lot of people that are extremely wealthy and they're miserable.
True.
So, I mean,
I know the same.
I'd go with the time personally.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't grow up, I feel like having a lot, and I think that really helped me to where, if things get tough, I'm very familiar with how that is already.
Yeah.
Versus I feel like some of my friends, whereas they were given everything or had the advantage to do whatever, and then suddenly they don't have it, it's like the world comes crashing down.
Yeah.
Right. And I feel like kind of hunting gives you that stable balance. Like you mentioned, what you get that in your work. So you don't even have to like seek it outside of your job.
Yeah, and it is different from work because you're thinking about what you have to do, and there's a little bit more to it. But like I can go out and I can go deer hunting by myself on a weekday, and I will come back and I will be refreshed, and I can go help my wife do what she needs to do. Like I need that every once in a while just to reset myself.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's just how I'm wired to work. Is like if I sat inside all day, 24/7, office job, I would be a terrible person.
It really does something to you.
Yeah, but like to be able to go out even just in an afternoon from where I live, go deer hunt, it just centers me back to where I need to be, and I can be a better husband, a better person, a better coworker because of it.
And I think that's what's unique about our job because we wear lots of different hats. And I think it's I think that's why I've been here so long is you like have seasons where like boom, you're in camps, and then, all right, now we're doing property prep, we're planting stuff, and then, all right, now we're flooding, and we're getting ready for hunts. It's constantly changing, and the seasons are different. I think
every day is different.
It is, but I mean, I think that's why, like, it's, like, we are happy, right?
Oh,
like,
100%.
Because you get to do a bunch of different stuff every week. Every day is different.
This week, we went and picked up boats yesterday. We're here doing a podcast today. I have a pig hunt tomorrow. The next day I'm scouting for deer for our hunt on Saturday. Like every day is different.
Yeah.
And that allows you just to not get in that same droning, monotonous.
Like a rut almost.
Correct.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we're extremely fortunate.
Yeah, I would agree.
But also I think like as an organization as a whole, like everyone's passionate, even if you're not a duck hunter, like I think everyone's passionate about what CWA does, and I think that's contagious and fun, you know. And I think that's why we have a lot of employees that have been over that 20-year mark.
Yes, correct.
I mean, outside of, your job and, what you've come to enjoy and learn and anything, is there any occupation outside of the one that you've currently been doing for the past year, handful of years that you wish that you could have tried or that you could have saw yourselves doing? Or is the one that you're in kind of where you're at? You're like, this is where I'm supposed to be.
So I think this is where, my feeling is this is where I'm supposed to be. If for some reason this job didn't exist, I would probably try to be in a biology aspect, whether it's waterfowl or ungulates, which is deer, elk, that sort of thing, big game biologist. I'm the type of person that wants to be out in the field, wants to be hands-on with the animals, wants to be hands-on with people's success. So I don't think there's a better job for what I do now, but if this wasn't created and I wasn't in this position, I think I'd be following that biology aspect of kind of what I pursued in college.
That makes sense. What about you, Jeff?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you wrote a job on a piece of paper, this one would pretty much cover all my
It's like checking all the boxes.
Pretty much. But I think, either something in biology, working for the state or whatnot, or, always been interested in real estate, so maybe something more of that.
You could not sell a house.
I could.
You could not sell a house. You can't sell ice to an igloo. Come on.
I could sell anything that you want.
Or pull the Wolf of Wall Street. Sell me this pencil.
Oh, you can't do that. But I don't know. Not necessarily that, but like buying a house, flipping a house, kind of the construction.
I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one.
I can see the
I'll give you
flip
that one.
aspect.
Yeah, not necessarily like realtor.
I feel like if you were selling a house, you'd be like, buy this house. I don't need to.
It's great.
Why.
Come on.
This is the best house. It's got AC that works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we need those types of people.
I don't know. Well, I've seen some realtor. They really don't know what's going on either.
That's true.
So
That's
I would
true.
become. I'd become the expert.
Next level.
I'm usually prepared. So whatever it is, I'll try to be prepared. You know, some people are like, "What's this?" I have no idea. I just great.
Let me Google it really quick.
Why are we paying you?
Okay. So, I mean, with all that said, I think this question always speaks volumes on who you are as people. So, if you could have dinner with any person, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Ooh. I got 3. My first one would be Theodore Roosevelt. And I don't know if we can bring him back, but I'd love to talk to him about Klamath and see what his idea is on fixing it. Because I feel like he could throw some big weight around.
I think so too, 100%.
So that would be one. My second one would be Meriwether Lewis from the Lewis and Clark expedition.
Oh, that's a great one.
We both, myself and Jeff, have read a book about their expeditions, and just being able to talk to that person about what they actually saw. And some of the stuff is missing that they saw and never came back would be incredible.
Yeah.
And then my other one is between 2 people, and it's either Stephen Ranella or Luke Combs. Stephen Ranella, because I just want to know what he would think of our programs and what we're doing. I also think, obviously, he's a great speaker, great advocate for the hunting community. And Luke Combs, I've been to his concert, great concert. The dude's a hunter. Looks like he'd party hard.
Great guy.
I'd be there. So
if we could get him on the podcast, that would be phenomenal.
Yeah, sign me up. I will be here.
What are we having, though? You know, what food? Are we having some steaks?
Whatever he wants.
Yeah.
What about you, Jeff?
Gosh, that's hard. Probably Abraham Lincoln. To be honest.
That's a good one.
Yeah. I mean,
it's a good one.
Definitely him. I didn't grow up with any grandpas, so I'd probably love to talk to them one day.
Yeah.
But I think Abraham, it's just fascinating kind of the time period that he was in and everything that he accomplished as a leader would be definitely someone to sit down with.
Good old honest Abe.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
Yeah.
I wasn't prepared.
Well, then it's good.
I would probably, just hands down, I'd like to be able to have dinner with my dad. My dad passed away when I was 15, so a sophomore in high school. So if I could speak to anybody, I'd want to just be able to learn from him and then be able to, have dinner with my grandma, his mom, because she's the reason I have a tomato tattoo. She loved tomatoes a lot, and I did not, so... so those are probably, 2 people I'd like to definitely learn from and ask questions because they passed so early and I didn't get to know them.
Yeah.
And then probably Judy Garland.
Oh.
I loved The Wizard of Oz growing up, so those would probably be my 3. I'd love to learn from them.
I like it.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I think that is all the time that we have.
Cool. Hopefully
more.
Hopefully you'll have us back.
Absolutely. I mean, maybe to sell some houses by chance.
We could sell decoys or something.
Okay,
yeah, we can modify this.
I'm okay with some decoys or maybe, some other hats that we have or the whiskey.
Some CWA merch.
If, the Pacific Flyway whiskey is pretty good.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Can you see that? We good?
Yeah.
Every bottle proceeds go to CWA's Veteran Hunt Program, so thank you guys for that.
Yeah, and Yetis as well.
Oh, yeah.
We love our Yetis, and Yetis also are a sponsor for the Veteran Hunt Program, I believe, as well. Yep. So that's it.
My name is Carson. Thanks for watching the Save It for the Blind podcast here at the CWA Roseville headquarters. You can find this podcast at Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever podcasts are found.